The Gospel of John tells us the story of a miracle in which Jesus restores sight to a blind man. At the same time, it also tells us how the Pharisees, offended by this event and unable to understand the meaning of the healing, closed their eyes and minds to the truth that Jesus was revealing. As you know, when we say "I see," there are two different meanings. One is seeing with our physical eyes, the other is understanding. Maybe for this we could say seeing with the eyes of the heart. The Pharisees, in a sense, put something like a window frame in front of themselves. They could see only what fit within that frame. They represent the attitude of people who refuse to see beyond their own understanding, or those who are bound by what is called social common sense or social tradition. The Gospel tells us the exchanges between the Pharisees and the man who had been cured. The Pharisees, entrenched in their own frameworks in front of their eyes, could not see the reality. In their eyes, anything that did not fit within their framework was simply non-existent. That is why, when they were confronted with an event that could not be confined with their understanding, they reacted with anger. Yet, how often do we ourselves cling to our own window frames, our own values, assumptions, and ways of seeing things? When we do so, our frameworks prevent the truth of God from reaching to the eyes of our hearts. Therefore, we must remain humble before the reality that unfolds before us. Reality does not always conform to our expectations. We cannot control everything by ourselves. To see with the eyes of the heart, we must first acknowledge that we all have our own frames through which we look at the world, and that what we see may not be the whole picture God wishes to reveal to us. So let us always pray, as the Gospel suggests, "Lord, tell me who he is, so that I may believe in him." Perhaps he is already standing right next to us. A few days ago, March 11, was an unforgettable day for Japan. 15 years ago, a massive earthquake and tsunami struck the Tōhoku region. So many people lost everything, and many precious lives were taken away. Even today, we remain deeply grateful to all those who showed and continue to show solidarity with the people of Japan. It is human relationships come with compassion and care that nature hope for life. Soon after the disaster, Pope Benedict responded to a question from a young Japanese girl on TV program. Little girl had experienced the suffering caused by that disaster. She asked Pope, "Why do children like me also have to experience such sad and painful disaster?" "I do not have an answer to this question," the Holy Father answered her honestly. Then he continued, "We know that Jesus, though innocent like you, also suffered like you. And we know that through this suffering, Jesus revealed the God. The God is always close to you and stands at your side. What is important now is to know this: God loves us." In this way, Holy Father emphasized that even in the midst of the suffering, if we entrust ourselves to the love of God, hope can take root in our hearts. Pope Benedict said that suffering is not meaningless. It has the power to give rise to hope, and it can help us rediscover the true values of our life. Suffering reminds us that God himself suffered because he loves us. It reminds us that God loves us so deeply that he walks with us even in times of difficulty. Jesus is the one who breaks the frames of our narrow vision and opens our eyes of heart so that we may understand that God is always with us.